Hello again and welcome back to 10-Minute English. Now, first I would like to talk about my background. Where do I come from? How did I get into language teaching? And how long have I been a language teacher? After that, I would like to talk a little bit about my ideas concerning language teaching in general. First, what is my background? Well, after finishing school at the age of 18, I went to Cambridge University. I was there for a total of 3 years and I really enjoyed it. After that, I obtained a teaching qualification and went to teach at a school in the north of England. I was there for about 5 years. At around this time, I obtained a new degree, this time in teaching English as a foreign language. After getting the qualification, my first stop was Spain, where I stayed for about a year. After that, I went to Indonesia. It was the first time I had been outside Europe, and I found it absolutely fascinating. I stayed there for about 2 years and then moved on to Saudi Arabia, which was again very, very different from all the countries I had been to before. In Saudi Arabia, the days are always sunny. A good day is when there is a bit of cloud in the sky. That's a bit different from Britain, because of course here we really appreciate the sunshine. During all my periods of working overseas, I came back to Britain regularly. I worked as a supply teacher in schools in this area during my visits here. I taught both senior pupils from the ages of 12 up to 18 and also junior pupils, some of them as young as 5 years old. My next stop overseas after Saudi Arabia was Oman. And again, I really enjoyed Oman. I stayed there, in fact, for 5 years. Now, while I was there, the post was out in the desert, a long way from the capital city, but there were advantages. I regularly had the opportunity to go to the coast, the city of Muscat, and another advantage was that every 2 months we had a month off, in which we could go anywhere we wanted in the world. That was a great perk of the job. Later on, I spent about a year in Libya and then I travelled to Russia. I was there for only about 5 months. I was not in the city of Moscow, the capital, but far in the south. Russia is, of course, a very, very large country. The city I went to was called Astrakhan, and it was a very beautiful city, although not very well known in England. Well, so much for my life story. Now I want to turn to some of the ideas that I have developed about language over the many years that I have been teaching. First of all, there is the mystery of languages. Everybody grows up with a perfect knowledge of their native language, whatever it may be. And language is, of course, something that everybody needs, even if their main interest is fashion design or nuclear physics. If you start young enough, you can, of course, learn more than one language, 2, 3, or perhaps even more. That, again, is a mystery. A good example is my eldest son. He was 5 years old when we first came to Britain and he spoke no English. His native language was Indonesian, which at the age of 5 he spoke perfectly. He was my teacher in Indonesian. However, after being here in England for only 6 months, he could speak English perfectly. Again, that is a mystery, but the secret is he started very, very young. Well, Are there any secrets that I can give to you in how to learn languages in a more effective way? Well, I suppose the main priority is don't worry. Simply relax. That will help you to enjoy the process. Also, you should try to use any means of communication that you have. For example, is it better to say, I have received a letter, or is it better to say, I have received a letter? Is it better to say, can I use the telephone, or can I use the telephone? Those ways, using mime to supplement the language, can increase your communication power very effectively. Of course, in your native language, you know loads and loads of words. In the foreign language, not so many. But that is why you should try to speak all the time in the foreign language and avoid, as much as possible, using your native language. It can be surprising how easy it is and how rewarding it can be to say just a few words in that foreign language. Well, these are just a few of the things that I recommend. I will develop these and other ideas in later videos. Well, don't forget to press the subscribe button, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you next week. Goodbye.